It's Radio 2, and that, of course, was International Blue from the Manic Street Preachers. New music from them from the forthcoming album, which is Resistance is Futile. And Nicky is with me now. It's so nice to catch up. It's always lovely.
Yeah, it is. It's been a while, actually, Joe. It's nice to be back.
But really exciting that you're back with a new album. I mean, honestly, genuinely, I'm so looking forward to hearing the whole thing and having you back on the scene.
No, because it's our longest ever gap between albums. It'll be 4 years, really, since Futurology in April. And for us, you know, we have kind of banged them out over the last 2 decades. And it's really the last 2 months has just been a massive surge of late nights and creativity. And because it's been quite a weird album to make for us. There has been no kind of overarching theme. It's less intellectualized, this record.
And so were you working on it for 4 years, or did you do 3 years of doing absolutely nothing?
No, just on and off. And we got kicked out of our studio in Cardiff. So we had to move, and we bought ourselves a cottage and converted it outside Newport into a studio, so that's taken a while. And we all got young families, and some of it just wasn't coming together, it wasn't panning out. And then we realised, really, lyrically, just wanted to write outside myself a bit rather than the internalised meanderings of a miserable old man.
Well, you've made a lifetime, but, you know, a lot of albums on this, a whole lifetime. So stretching yourself this time.
Yeah. No, well, I am, actually, because I just wanted to... There's a lot of songs about what inspired us, really. There's obviously International Blues about Yves Klein, the French artist. There's a song called Dylan and Caitlin, which is about Dylan Thomas and his wife. There's one about Vivian May, the photographer. There's a lot of little things about inspiration on there, you know, and I've been up my mum and dad's a lot, just wandering around Blackwood, and I've read less than I've ever read. I've listened less to music than I ever have. I've sort of cleansed myself and just tried to focus on things that inspire me.
So, because that gets in the way then?
Sometimes.
Yeah.
Well, Futurology was so... I mean, that's one of my favourite Manics albums, and, you know, it was probably most critically acclaimed since, you know, for decades, but it was so crammed with references and sort of different things that I'd probably stolen from other people. So this time I just wanted to write something that was slightly freer. Yeah.
So going back to your mum and dad's, why were you doing that?
Oh, my mum hasn't been very well, and I just... You know, I mean, I don't live that far from them anyway. I've always gone up, but I've just been going up a lot more, and because they're getting old, 83 and 80, and just wandering around the old haunts and just realising those little sparks that kind of got us going in the first place. And I think International Blue itself, the single, does hark back to Generation Terrorist in its sound, really, as well. It's got a sort of naive energy that I didn't think we could dredge up.
But you have managed to, again. I guess you get more reflective, don't you, in old age as well? And when you're surrounded by old age, you know, caring for your parents.
Well, this is, as we all know, you know, that every day something seems to happen, you know, and you're just it's a different sensibility. I'd love to be that antagonistic, fearless, arrogant 22-year-old again, but, you know, you've got to choose your enemies.
How do you describe what you are now, then?
Controlled. The same person, but controlled. And slightly tireder. No, we're still driven by the same kind of emotions and the same philosophical kind of connection, but it'd be wrong if we were still acting like we were 20-year-olds.
So what are your priorities these days? What consumes you the most?
Survival.
As a person, as a father, as an individual?
Yeah, I think all those things. I think there's nothing more hard or more difficult and worrying than being a parent anyway. I think we'd all agree with that.
But when you were younger and you were railing against so many different issues and so much in society, and now it feels like the world is a much more different place, and the priorities are, you know, much more terrifying, aren't they?
They are, and the avenues to kind of put all your anger and hatred out there have changed from doing a 3-hour interview to just, you know, doing a 100 and whatever it is word tweet or whatever, and it's kind of alien to me, all that. You know, we were brought up on discourse and interviews, which were... Sometimes you'd have it 2 weeks running because the interview was so long and stuff like that in the NME or whatever. So I don't feel that well equipped, or I don't think my judgment is that sound to condense my opinion into something so small.
When you're writing this album, how did you do it? Is there a place that you go to where you feel inspired? Do you have a study? Do you have a little room? Do you wander?
To be honest, there are two rooms, really. One is... I love writing in hotel rooms. You know,
do you?
Yeah, I do. It's my one decadent kind of guilty pleasure, hotels. You know, I don't drive, I don't wear jewellery. I don't, you know, there's nothing that expensive I like, but I love hotels. So I do get a lot of inspiration from travelling and just being in the moment. And then back in my bedroom, stroke study back home, it's still my little sanctuary of peace and tranquility. Do
you go to certain specific hotel rooms? Do you travel around the world to go to certain hotels? I totally get it, because people can't get you there, can they?
Yeah.
And there is nothing that you feel that you need to do when you're in a hotel room.
Exactly. You know, apart from making sure everything is clean and tidy and neat, it's a wonderful space to empty everything out. And it could be anywhere, to be honest. Sometimes I do specifically go to various places, but mostly, you know, well, International Blue, the song itself is, me and my wife went to Nice 4 years ago. It was our 20th wedding anniversary. And it was probably the first time we'd been away from the kids in like 10 years or something. And we was in this lovely hotel looking over the sea. And I'd always liked Yves Klein, but then I connected his trademark of the colour International Blue with the Mediterranean Sea and the sky. And it all sort of fused together. And the title of most of the song was written then. And I just needed a couple of extra verses when I gave it to James only about 10 weeks ago, actually. It was written quite late. He just straight away, he could visualise some sort of European drive-in song, and he kept talking about Dancing in the Dark by Springsteen and Don Henley's Boys of Summer, that he wanted to sort of get that into this song.
So this feels wide and expansive.
Exactly.
Yeah, is that the idea?
So it was just that moment of inspiration from someone else led to the creation of this song. And there is a theme of that in the album.
Tell us about Yves Klein.
Well, he was a French artist that he did many things, but he's probably most famous for trademarking the colour International Klein Blue, which is the most resonant blue you could see, really. It's a bit like the European flag one, but even more vivid.
Okay.
I mean, I know blue is blue.
No. Blue is the best colour there is. It's
Yeah.
my favourite colour in the world, and I think it means so many things. It means kind of pure, and it means calm, and it means it's kind of vibrant. It can be sad. Yeah, so many things.
So, and he did a lot of travelling in Japan, and he was a master of martial arts. Very interesting character, died young. And in Nice, there's a lot of his work in the Museum of Modern Art as well, which my wife went to on that visit 4 years ago. So just all those lovely connections came together, and James wanted to write something really kind of propulsive and with echoes of, like a modern-day motorcycle emptiness, he said, with a really stunning guitar riff and stuff.
So when you play these, when you go out and you do the live shows, what effect will it have on people? Are they kind of reflective, sad songs? Are they epic? Are they forceful, powerful?
I think they are. They have got an epic widescreen nature. They are quite filmic, and they are. They're not big in a bombastic way, but there is a weird spirit of Generation Terrace in there. You know, I don't know why that is. But there's a hint of the 80s.
Yeah, you must have an idea of why that is. Why have you gone back there?
I know, just a lot of the sounds. It's not like sometimes you can get too obsessed with being like really authentic and real, but I don't think we were afraid of that this time at all. There's a lot of sort of mid-70s Bowie as well, Station to Station, a lot of harmonizer on the drums, and the Lodger album. There's a lot of that in there. There's a song about David Bowie on there called In Eternity, which is another sort of mini tribute song.
What did he mean to you, Bowie?
I just think he's left such a gap in culture that is literally as impossible to fill. You know, lyrically, musically, the hair, the greatest hair ever of a rock star. You know, his background, just everything about him. You know, there's no one could ever kind of fill that void. What
did he mean to you when you were growing up, when you were that person who did not fit in at school?
Yeah, I mean, for me, James and Shawnee was Ashes to Ashes. We were a bit, you know, a lot of, like the Ian McCulloch, Boy George generation, they always seem to say Starman, I think, on top of the Pops, and then Life on Mars. But for us, it was Ashes to Ashes, and seeing that video on the Kenny Everett show, I think.
Oh, my gosh.
And being completely befuddled and overawed by it, you know. And just thinking how fantastical it was.
And just giving you the realisation of what you could achieve and how you could be and what you could do.
And I then delving back into that rich history, thinking about how you can reinvent yourself and how images could be really important and playful as well, you know, because we actually, all us, you know, when we started, there was a massive element of really kind of humour with us. We couldn't look that odd at the height of baggy and everything without, a sense of humour about ourselves. Yeah. Which I think, you can see that in him as well.
Yeah, without a shadow of a doubt. Yeah. Should we play Ashes to Ashes?
Yes.
Yes, let's do that. I remember being in a bed and breakfast in Barmouth in Wales and with my parents and my sister in like a tiny, it wasn't plush or anything. No. And this video came on the TV and that was the first time I ever saw it. So I know what you mean.
And it's bizarre now that for a while it looked dated, but now the video itself actually looks really current again.
Yeah, it's weird. Right, let's play it. It's Ashes to Ashes from David Bowie. We've got Nicky here from Manics at the moment, just chatting. So the plan for next year, how does your diary look? Is it rammed full and how does it make you feel?
It is starting to fill up and it does scare me a bit because I just haven't been away from home very much, and quite enjoyed being at home a lot. But I think we haven't really rehearsed these songs yet. They've kind of been a lot of off-the-cuff moments, so come January, once we dig into everything and get all the visuals going. We've just done a video in Nice with Kieran Evans, who's worked with us a lot. And so we're just editing that at the moment. I think that'll give us a clue then how to present it all live as well.
What kind of video? What happens?
It's, there's... it's like an updated version of Motorcycle Emptiness, but set in Nice. Okay. So, just try... We want to make a film rather than a pop video because Kieran obviously won a BAFTA for his film Kelly and Victor, and rather than just do, although it was at times starting to feel a bit like Duran Duran.
Wild Boys?
No, Rio.
Oh God, of course.
But it's such.
Are you on a boat? Are you on the sea?
We're by the sea. Yeah, there's a lot of steering out. Sad old men steering out to sea,
contemplating what scene.
Yeah. And it's the blue skies, and there's actually an Yves Klein place there, which we did a lot of filming around on the streets. Just all fitted together really well. We got too much, I think. I think Kieran was actually doing a separate feature film because we got so much footage. It's going to be a tough edit.
Yeah. Is the artwork all done for the album? Is it all okay?
The artwork is like a Japanese samurai warrior from, I think it's 1872, before they kind of faded away. And it's that idea of resistance being futile, that, the gun is stronger than the sword. And it's a really melancholic shot that he's still kind of, at the top of his game, but it feels like the future is overtaking him, which is a bit of an analogy to us.
It's been really nice talking to you. I can't wait to hear the album. Have you worked out what you're wearing? Because I'm always quite intrigued to know the image that you're going for with this time.
We've been going suits on this, actually. I've been striding around Nice looking like Tom Wolfe in a white suit and a leopard print tie.
Of course you have. Of course you. Yeah, look forward to it anyway. And then will you come back and play live for us? Can we do a big